please don't try anything you're about to see at home.
We're what you call experts.
On this episode of Mythbusters,
I'm gonna have to warn my mom before she watches this episode.
Adam and Jamie face off in an epic battle of fire
That is insane.
and ice. They want to test the viral video claim that a fire extinguisher can protect you from a flamethrower.
I lived! Holy
Then, in the desert,
This is so cool.
Cary Grant and Tori go high-tech
Okay, helicopters in position and ready for the test.
to take on a myth from the movie Body of Lies.
Okay, I'm getting ready to get kidnapped.
Using a car-induced dust cloud, can you really cloak your movements from a high-altitude spy drone? Who are the Mythbusters? Adam Savage.
It's scientific!
And Jamie Heineman.
Fun for the whole family.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience. Together with Carrie Byron,
I was less excited after my first kiss.
Tori Belici,
Why are we doing this?
and Grant Imahara.
Who wants some?
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test.
What's on the docket?
Something you and I know quite well, the meeting of opposites.
You're going to have to be more specific.
Okay, fire versus ice. It's a viral video that's been going around where two hillbillies pull up into the middle of nowhere and face off, one armed with a flamethrower, the other armed with a fire extinguisher. They both fire their devices, and fire and ice meet in the middle, and apparently, according to the clip, cancel each other out.
Dibs on the flamethrower.
And don't want to hear any more about the story?
No.
All right then, roll the clip.
What do you get when you cross an internet viral video and an elemental duel? An epic clash of fire and ice. But can you actually beat back a flamethrower attack with a plume of CO2 from a fire extinguisher? The team want to know if these striking images are film fakery or fiery fact.
So where do you want to begin?
Well, let's say we set up a small scale as a proof of concept. I mean, I can throw together a little flamethrower in a few minutes. But as I'm thinking about it, you know, they show a normal CO2 fire extinguisher in that clip, and I'm not so sure they fire that far.
Easy enough to figure out. We've got one downstairs. I can just throw up a gauge and see how far it propels.
Okay.
So before the guys throw down some small-scale flames,
Well, let's scale it up.
they're going to check that a standard 15-pound fire extinguisher, like the one in the clip, can even go the required distance.
So 25 times 6 is 150, 60 feet between these guys, which means each of these things has to shoot 30 feet in order to meet at the middle, at least.
Yeah, at least.
That's the mark to match. But first, here's Professor Savage for Firefighting 101.
You should understand, there's nothing special about these. These are your standard issue, run-of-the-mill, what we'd call 15-pound CO2 fire extinguishers. CO2 means carbon dioxide, and that's what these are filled with, CO2 in a liquid form. And when you pull the pin and squeeze the lever, that CO2 comes out of a nozzle at the bottom of this cone, and it flashes to a gas. That CO2 gas comes out in a big smoky billow, creating a non-oxygenated environment where fire can't burn. The question we're concerned with is, will it actually fire out 30 feet? Honestly, I don't think so, but that's why we're doing this test. 3, 2, 1. I think that was pretty far.
The target to get this myth over the first hurdle was around 30 feet. And after studying the high-speed footage, Adam's happy.
I'd say that the unmodified fire extinguisher fired its gaseous billow 25 feet, which is shockingly close to the clip. I think it's time to put it up against Jamie's impromptu flamethrower.
Impromptu and top secret.
Even though we tell people not to do what we do at home, when it comes to homemade flamethrowers, I'm just not going to show you how to do it.
With the curtain closed on the flamethrower puppet show, it's on to a proof of concept test. And they won't be shooting it in the shop.
Obviously, we can't be squirting lit gasoline around inside M5, so we've come to the San Francisco Fire Department Treasure Island Training Facility,
I am ready to do battle with the Heinemann.
and we're going to do it here.
But do what exactly?
The whole point of this exercise is to see if my fire extinguisher can have any appreciable effect on Jamie's flamethrower.
And to do it, he'll be wearing the full fireproof suit, or what he likes to call his dancing suit.
How do you want to do this thing?
Well, for safety's sake, why don't I stay put with my stream of fire and you kind of walk into it with the extinguisher?
I like that better than the alternative. Let's do it.
Okay.
So in small scale, Adam and Jamie are looking to explore the concept of the myth.
All right, fire extinguisher versus flamethrower, small scale.
Is it possible
I'm ready.
that a standard workplace CO2 fire extinguisher, like the one in the viral video,
Let's light her up.
can snuff out an airborne jet of flaming gasoline? Next up, Tori, Grant, and Carrie kick up a dust storm for a kidnapping.
All right, guys, what do we got?
This one involves fast cars, dust storms, and spy drones.
Are we testing the myth from the movie Body of Lies?
Yes. Now, this is the one where Leonardo DiCaprio is getting kidnapped, but he's being monitored by a spy drone. Now, to fool the drone, his kidnappers show up in their cars, drive in a circle, create a dust storm, effectively blinding it.
Ooh, this is gonna be awesome to test.
It's a classic scene from the silver screen. In the movie Body of Lies, a band of highly organized SUV driving bad guys kidnap our hero by cleverly cloaking their movements from a high altitude spy drone with a dust cloud. But can a manufactured by Motor dust storm really blind state of the art military technology?
You know, my gut feeling is this could possibly work. I mean, ever driven on a dusty road behind somebody? The car in front of you disappears.
Yeah, but that's when you're enveloped in dust. This myth is about someone observing from above the dust cloud.
I think the good news is we don't need a spy drone. I think we can get the same kind of camera and mount it to something else in the air, like a helicopter.
All right, well, sounds like all we need now is a dusty location, some SUVs, and a target to kidnap.
Well, one more thing. You're totally blind when you're driving in a dust storm, so maybe we need to come up with some sort of system for driving in a circle without actually being able to see.
Yeah, I guess driving blind could be disastrous.
Correct. By the time the team takes this test to the desert, they'll require military-like precision and planning to safely carry out the dangerous driving. So it's a trip to the Emergency Vehicle Operations Course,
Let's have some fun!
where Grant and Tori will test the safety precautions necessary to pull off the semi-blind driving the myth requires. It's going to require laser-sharp concentration.
Sorry. Oh, no.
Grant didn't get the laser-sharp concentration memo.
We haven't even started, and it's a lot more dangerous than we thought.
Now, essentially what we're doing is creating a dust storm, which means limited visibility. And since we don't want to crash into each other, we're instituting a number of safety procedures. Every car will be outfitted with a strobe light. It's got a portable rumble strip in the form of this chain. We'll lay this out along the perimeter, and that will tell us when we're on path.
And we're gonna take these delineators and create a giant circle that the cars can follow. And we're gonna have a slapstick on the front of the car, so when the car passes by, it hits it, letting the driver know that he's still on track. It's kind of like a giant wheel of fortune. And because we don't have our own dust storm, we're gonna create our own dust storm with this opaque paper.
Ready for a dust storm?
Bye-bye. What could possibly go wrong?
With the paper supposedly simulating the visibility of a dust storm
I'm ready.
and one fender bender already under their belt, the team starts slow and careful.
All right, let's start at 5 miles an hour and move up to 10 miles an hour. In 3, 2, 1, drive.
With just 2 drivers and not the full set of 4, the question is, can they drive nearly blind
Stop braking.
and in a tight circle safely?
You're way off course, now stop.
The answer would appear to be no. No, they can't.
Where the hell am I?
Next, Jamie supersizes his Sizzler,
It's 100% illegal.
while Adam pumps up the gas.
Whoa! Wow!
This viral video suggests that if a mean-looking dude is going to fire a flamethrower at you, you can hold back the flames with a fire extinguisher. Apparently, the cloud of CO2 will balance out the burning gasoline by meeting it in the middle.
I'm ready.
First up, though,
Okay, bring it in.
Adam and Jamie want to know how it'll go with a more modest-sized flamethrower.
Yeah! That worked.
It certainly put out Jamie's fire, but it wasn't an unqualified success.
But it seems my effective distance is really about this distance, not like a full 20 feet.
Yeah, that's interesting. It seems that there has to be absolutely complete coverage of the CO2 or it's going to continue to burn.
Something the thermal imaging camera backs up. The cold jet of CO2 only becomes truly effective at close range. That's a problem, because the myth would have us believe it can hold back a full-sized flamethrower 25 feet away. And a close look at the high speed confirms the poor result in terms of distance.
Okay, I'm definitely pushing the flame back, and here at just under 10 feet, I think I'm about to put it. There it is. I put it out.
But you had to almost be covering me with the CO2 for it to go out. And in the clip,
They're 60 feet apart, so I absolutely need to beef that thing up.
Yep, based on the results so far, the team believes the standard extinguisher used in the clip will have no chance. And if that's the case, Adam wants a backup to ramp it up. So he'll be making a second extinguisher with extensive modifications and using the force.
Here's what's happening. I clearly need more power. I'm going to start this experiment process by measuring the 15-pound fire extinguisher using my pressure swingometer. And I'm going to be comparing that against all my subsequent measurements from all the modifications that I'm going to make. It might seem that what's happening here is a meeting of opposites. The fire and the thing that puts out